And right now we want to bring in our Kelsey Kernstein. She and the two of us, we are just 3 of 4.2 billion people who are watching this thing today. But you have been watching this procession all morning long.
And this is definitely a tough act to follow for King Charles. Really, Queen Elizabeth, she really set a precedent, served more than 70 plus years, and really a remarkable thing what she did there. She was known across the world for her dignity, her strength, and she was really, I studied a lot about her. She's really quite a shy person. So for her to take on this role at the age of 25, her father dying of lung cancer, and she really just did every step of the way with such grace and dignity. It's really remarkable. And what we've been watching is now that coffin is headed to Windsor Castle. You can see just thousands, millions of people are watching this. They're on the streets. I mean, stretching along 5 miles, River Thames there, and they've got flowers out there and just showing this is something that they've known almost their entire lifetime. 9 out of 10 living beings, all they've ever known is Queen Elizabeth, is reigning the monarch there. And this is something that she really was never prepared to take on. She was the third in line to take this role, and her uncle, of course, abdicating, but she has really, she set a precedent that is going to be really hard to follow.
She owned it, though. I mean, she somehow, it was meant to be. Even though it wasn't.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah,
it feels like it was meant to be, and you can't even imagine what would have happened had Edward remained king and we didn't have this line of succession. But that changed world history. And
I think what's so remarkable for so many women as well is, as a young girl taking on this role, as a woman, as a grandmother, it makes you think as a woman, oh, wow, I could be something, you know, of course no one could be the next queen, but
You're not in the line of succession, Kelsey?
No. But it makes you think, wow, I could take on a role and be that dignified and honorable as well. Yeah. It's remarkable.
Well, you definitely do. In hearing how she was, it just kind of gives you that sense of, wow, I need to be a better person. I need to be a stronger person. I need to be a more compassionate person. I mean, she's just so loved for being steadfast.
I feel like a bit fewer than 2 million people will be there for my funeral, but we'll see. We'll see if I can get there. Kelsey, something that gave me chills specifically was when they loaded her coffin into this hearse, and they played God Save the Queen, God Save the King, and they saluted, and you saw King Charles salute, and you know all those white gloves going up at the same time, going down at the same time. I got chills, and we had one of our previous guests. It brought tears to her eyes. Is there anything like that? Maybe it's that moment for you, but is there anything like that that struck you as just memorable? Something that you're looking at and going, I'm going to remember that?
I think the whole thing is memorable. I think you have to realize, is that all flowers that we're seeing there on the screen? But I think this is all what people's ever known. Their entire lifetime is knowing that it's been the queen that has been reigning the monarch there. And the way that she's done it is really with very little scandal. Whereas everyone else in her family, quite a bit of scandal.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting going forward. And I think there's always that fear of losing the crown. How long will the crown go on?
How long will there be a monarchy in England?
Exactly.
How long will there be a British Empire?
Always that fear.
That was a beautiful shot we just had. That was Windsor Castle, all the flowers laying out there on the lawn in honor of the Queen as her body makes its way there. That's just another thing that kind of gives me chills.
Well, and I've been on the long walk. We're looking live at part of that procession, but we went back and forth between shots of the long walk and this street shot where everyone is gathered. And that is where Queen Elizabeth and her husband, Prince Philip, would take strolls together. And just the romance that they had. And I don't know, I'm a little bit of a romantic. I think about the fact that it hasn't been that long since Prince Philip passed, and the two are reunited again.
There was actually a lot of discussion about maybe the beginning of their marriage, reports that could have been a little bit challenging, but they grew together. They grew to be one, and that is really what's remarkable. That I believe they were married for over 70 years.
That's right.
Yes, 70 years.
For 73 years. They were married at Westminster Abbey in 1947, and he passed away in April of last year.
And you have to think that this was during a time where divorce, you couldn't, especially being a monarch, you could not get divorced. So they just worked through the issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a testament to her, again, faithfulness, many things that she withstood with the grace that seems impossible. I mean, I just think about how strong this woman had to be to go through what she did with her son, Prince Andrew, what she had to go through with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, what she had to deal with in terms of the wars that she witnessed, and having the wisdom to know what to do for her country in times of economic uncertainty. Yes. And she still managed to be, I mean, I think of her being a very strong woman, but then I think about her being very well protected because she had people around her who were no doubt counseling her and making sure that she was presenting herself properly.
And this is someone that never got a university education. You know, she actually hired, it's believed that she hired tutors to learn more about what other politicians would be talking to her about, to become informed, so she could make those informed decisions. She's quite shy by nature. That's what a lot of people would say. And I think what's so remarkable is she comes off as this strength and this solid foundation, but really a shy person.
Yeah. I think something that's very striking to me, too, is 70 years, right? She went from a time where most people didn't have TVs to a time where everybody had a TV and a computer in their pocket all the time. And yet somehow she kept the mystery about herself and about the royal doings, so to speak, private enough that we still don't know enough about her to dislike her. Does that make sense? I think you learn so much about people via social media today that you take a little bit of the specialness away from them because you think, well, they're just like us. And you never really felt like they were just like us. You kind of felt like this is a special person, and the gravitas that the crown holds, it really kept. And she remains this figure that we're talking about right now, and all those people out on the street right now, partially because she still kept the crown a little bit shrouded in mystery in an age where nothing is shrouded in mystery anymore.
But she was the most televised royal.
That's true.
You know, before her, that you really didn't have the invention of television to publicize your life or your duties. And then she came on the scene as a 20-something-year-old woman, and all of a sudden people were enamored because it was like, wow, the beauty.
It really is some sort of Jedi mind trick that she was on TV more than any other royal, and yet we know less about her.
Well, I think that she did it right.
Well, one thing that she did do during her reign is in 1957, she was the first to ever televise or broadcast Christmas at the Buckingham Palace. So it really let you inside their home where she gave the speech at the Buckingham Palace. And I think it let people know a little bit more about what the monarch is all about, what Christmas Day was like inside the castle.
Yes, and she loved to share Christmas with her family and give her greetings to the people whom she served. And that is what her legacy will be like, one of service, looking outward to the people and looking upward to God, as her faith has been highlighted during that funeral service. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for joining us. And of course, you're watching, as we all are here.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.